Okay, so we got another video, and this is Dame Dash. So Dame Dash is gonna explain why he filed for bankruptcy, and it's like a reaction. I'm gonna go see, let's see if I can try and react to it.
Is there any truth to that?
Oh, it wasn't only viral. It was in People magazine, page 6. I wanted it to be as publicized I wanted as much press about it as possible because I want people to learn something about this. I want them to actually scrutinize. This is when I do want you in my business. Because number one, when you file, you got to tell them everything, and it's public record. So you got to give them every bill. You also have to tell them everyone that you're going to sue in the future. But all the people that you owe money to, they're not allowed to sue you anymore.
Okay, that's a good little move that rich people do because remember 50 Cent, where he filed for bankruptcy. That because he was in the middle of, I think there was like a lawsuit between him and Rick Ross, baby mama, and he had like can't remember, it was a Sleek Audio or one of those companies was suing him or something like that. But he had to reevaluate his finances to a point where he didn't want any more money bleeding through. So that's why he sold the Mike Tyson Mansion, and he started to think to himself, okay, this is where we're gonna put our money into. These people can't ask for any money during that time period, and then we're gonna start to hustle in another direction, and then we're gonna sue the people who were representing me. So I think he sued his old lawyers, and he got money out of them, which was hilarious. That's a good move. I've never heard that one, man. Only 50 can pull that one off. But as for Dame, financially, Dame is not really. I mean, he tried to let's go movie for movie, blog for blog, blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, it had some sort of competition, but Dame really on the level of someone like 50 Cent. Really? Nah. But it look like he's living good.
I want you to remember that. They're not allowed to sue you for a certain period of time because there's nothing to collect. And this dude, Chris Brown, has
Boy, every time I hear Chris Brown, I think back Chris Brown, the singer.
literally, to me, what he does is he does this muddy waters. He muddies the waters a lot because he's a lawyer and he's intelligent. I'm not going to take that from him, but I think he's dumb because he just wasted a lot of time. Allegedly, I don't want to catch another lawsuit, even though I can't get sued. I got PTSD, I think. But what was happening was he was going from state to state. Well, actually, I shot a movie, and I'm doing this short for equity. After I shot and edited the movie because of a disagreement, Muddy Waters, the disagreement was another movie that we started to shoot.
Whoa,
He needs the talking points before he leaves. Now.
that was crazy.
Create talking
That's
points using
loud,
this.
man.
The editor. So what he did was he paid the editor to send him all the footage, which isn't a problem, but I didn't have the movie done. He went and copyrighted it. And then I promoted it. But I was promoting my movie, so he tried to sue me for a copyright infringement. But the thing was, he put on the movie that I didn't direct it. He used all my music, all the shots, everything. Didn't change it. But he put Brian White and Josh Weber as the directors, and said that I'm taking the movie, I'm putting their names on it, and you're not gonna get $1. So I was like, I'm gonna sue you. So I called my lawyers and told them, but they didn't really handle it. And then I started popping it on Instagram. And my friend Bootsy, my brother, said, I know some people that got robbed by them too. Now I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't want to get sued. And one of them was a child that worked that didn't get paid. And it was some of the people that were involved, but not Josh Weber. So I said, Josh Weber, y'all robbing kids. Boo, boo, boo. Again, allegedly. And I posted it. So they sued me for a copyright infringement because I promoted the movie, and they sued me for defamation. They didn't win a lot of money for the defamation, But between Josh and him, they it was about 800,000. But really, for what they went through, it was legal fees. Now, what they did was they knew I was going through something with the child support, and I had 2 warrants in New York. The whole thing was shot in L.A. But because before we left, the last trademarks or whatever, our business was set up in New York. They were able, and he had a house, apartment in New York. He didn't live in New York. They were able to do the lawsuit in New York, but they knew I couldn't show up to court because I had 2 warrants, so they thought I would default. What they also did, allegedly, was they got Claudia Jordan and Brian White, and they had a meeting. They tried to get Columbus short, but I got to give Columbus his props. He was thorough. He allegedly, I'll say allegedly, but he was thorough for that part, because he called me. And he said, these guys had a call, and they said that they're going to send new clearances, pay everybody money, and say that they directed it, and collectively they're going to say certain things. And so Claudia Jordan took the bait, and Brian White did. Me and Brian White, I got the text, allegedly, but I got the text. We went back and forth. I couldn't believe he did it because I treated them so well.
Okay, so from what we're hearing, he filed for bankruptcy, but in respect to everything else with Dame Dash, it is also, again, poor money management, because he had the child support payment and he had tax payments from New York, and his business is so out there that they knew this and they thought he wouldn't go to New York because there was a warrant for him, and that's how he ended up in this situation. Because he wouldn't be in this situation if he never had those money problems. So it's like money problem on top of money problems. So he said that's the reason why he filed for bankruptcy. That couldn't all be the reason why, Dame Dash. Because there's people who are trying to sue you and have won, and you haven't paid them yet. I mean, I'm not into his business. I don't know. I'm just speaking out from what I'm reading on the internet. It could all be some sort of misunderstanding, you know. But you know, look, the guy looks like he's living good, but I don't think they can take the house from him. He looked like he's doing okay, man. You know, there's money coming in, but we don't know how much of that money is actual, like, passively just coming in, or you know, was it money that they're just landing to live off of until he can sort out his financial situation so he can pay people off. But from what I can see, you know, Dame, he's not doing that well. But he always tries to spin it in a way where he's like, oh, it's because of this, because of that. No, Dame, it's because you haven't been financially literate. And I like the way you opened up the whole, oh, I want people to learn from this. I don't think he did want people to learn, because this stuff is highly embarrassing to a point where 1 minute you're throwing t-shirts in the bin, and the next minute, you know, you're sitting down there like, yeah, I can't pay these people. And that's where I think that's where, you know, he's teaching me lessons, you know, where I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, well, he was up there, and now how people's fortunes change. And I'm gonna say this in respects to him and Jay-Z. They both are people who had and still have immense wealth, more than the normal person. But you look at what Jay-Z and Beyonce do, and they're taking out mortgages. So you can't really look at him for trying to use the loopholes in the law to sustain himself financially, where it be filing for bankruptcy, which people do to maintain a living and make sure people can't sue them even more, and they can actually, you know, stable themselves. And that's the same thing I was saying with Jay-Z and Beyonce, where they're taking out mortgages. You think that they're worth like $3 billion or something like that? They're taking out a mortgage, hundreds of millions worth of mortgage money to stabilize their lifestyle. So I can't blame Dame for doing the same thing, but And we don't know how many people trying to sue Jay-Z for all sorts. But with the income, there isn't that much, a solid income from where Dame used to have. Rockefeller, the clothing line, let's say the drinks as well. A lot of that stuff has kind of gone downhill. So like that passive income where you just put something out and people just buy it, that's kind of gone. I think his streaming network should be bringing in some money. We don't know how much of that he fully owns, or is it a partnership with someone else. It's weird. I'm one of those people that if I can do it myself, I'll do it myself. I'll make the website myself. I stay up late. I put the hours in, because when you start partnering with people, yeah, it's a lot easier to get off the ground. But when you fall out with people, that's it. You're in a situation where you're gonna have to split the money halfway, and there's other people getting involved, and then it's one of those things where I notice whenever I get involved with people, things start to go downhill. That's why I'm on my dolo. I always do things by myself, man. I start my YouTube channel up, raise it to 1 billion views plus, all by myself. I ain't had no one else. I had to pay for anything. I did the editing. I stayed up to 4 in the morning doing that stuff. So yeah, it's just hard work in life, man. So as I said before, I don't blame Dame for what he's been doing, but it is financially very bad money management. And I'm glad he owns up to it. And yeah, I'm out.